All right, well then the next thing we have is I want to introduce Aaron Sorrells. He's got a funny story about that he just told me. He is running for Lieutenant Governor, so everybody, let's welcome Aaron.
Thank you very much. So let's get to that story right off the bat then. So my name is Aaron Sorrells. I am now saying Aaron Sorrells because unfortunately I do talk a little fast, and when you say Sorrells, some people think I say Soros. So I'm so dedicated to this that I now say my last name different. That shows you my commitment. So however you say it, I'm fine with it, but preferably if you're talking about me, say Sorrells. I don't want that confusion. So here's the thing. So you heard Shelley talking about all the problems, right? They don't get our priorities done. So let's go through the priorities and let's talk about Dan Patrick. Every 2 years we have a session, and our lieutenant governor is supposed to get the people's priorities done. As a Republican, he has to get the GOP priorities done. That is picked by the people. This was considered the most conservative legislature in 20 plus years. Okay? Exactly. So let's go through what we got passed. By the way, this did not get done in regular session either. We got election integrity. Does anyone believe elections are secure now? No. There we go. By the way, I think Dan Patrick went, whoops, I didn't know that we dropped it from felony to misdemeanor. Is that what you expect out of the most powerful position in Texas? And yes, in case you're not aware of that, I know Alan West is here, but yes, technically by Constitution, if you want to use it, I am the most powerful position. So I can control a lot of things because of that. So if the most powerful position doesn't know that it dropped from felony to misdemeanor, we have a problem. The next one, heartbeat bill. Great bill. Unfortunately, we asked for abortion to be abolished. That's what we asked for. They didn't do it. They compromised. But the thing about it is if you paid attention, now California, because we let lawyers try to figure out how do we get around just challenging Roe v. Wade, which I'm sick of. Roe v. Wade is not law. Judicial branch does not make law. So we should have challenged it head on. Now, what is Gavin Newsom doing? He's using the law that we tried to figure out to get around abortion, and he's now going to use it to go after gun manufacturers. So once again, we didn't go ahead and do what we should have done. We let lawyers figure out how to get us around the rule, and now the left is going to use it once again against us. That's not what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to stand on principle and fight for it. The third is the constitutional carry. It's not constitutional, it's permitless. There's like 17 violations in it. And the thing is, if I want constitutional, then I don't want you to write another law that says constitutional. I want you to take away the bills that took my constitutional Second Amendment right away from me. That's what I expect out of my leadership. I want my rights back. But, thank you. But that's not what our guys do. See, the thing is, I'm running to be a public servant. I'm running to be the Lieutenant Governor of Texas, the head of the Senate. The GOP priorities are given 8. He was given 8. We got 3 watered down versions of 8, and that's considered the most conservative legislature, 20 plus years. To me, that's not a passing grade. If you were in school, you'd get a failing grade for that. But we keep accepting it. We keep allowing this to happen, and we keep wondering why we can't get any different results. Shelley's right. Why is it so hard to just go up there and get the bills done? Because they don't want to. They're in the pockets of all the people. Do you think Dan Patrick with 20 plus million in the bank, Greg Abbott with 60 plus million, do you think that's our money? Is that the people's money? No, that's the corporations, that's the big tech, that's everybody we don't like. But yet we're going to go up there and vote. And everybody's going to tell you, oh, we'll split the vote. No, it's a primary, March 1st. You're not splitting the vote. You're voting so that we can get the bad guy out. I'm tired of voting for the lesser of 2 evils come November. It's about time we actually get the real people in there that want to fight for our rights. And so what I did, I'm 41 years old. Everybody says, why would you go for the most powerful position, right? Why would you go for the lieutenant governor? Why wouldn't you just get in there and go for House, Senate? Well, what I look at is every time we put a conservative House member or senator in there, they get pushed around. They get told to be part of the club. I got told by a rep yesterday, I was having dinner with one. He happened to be in the same event with us. And I got told that the freshmen in the Republican Party just get pushed to the side. They don't get big bills. If you're qualified enough to run for office for us in your district, you're qualified enough to actually do something when you get there. But our party says, go over here, stay to the side, shut up, don't do anything. We're not going to give you any big bills. And so we get groomed, we get told, and we get used to that. It's not acceptable. I voted for my politicians, I voted for my elected officials to be leaders. I didn't vote for them to go get along. I didn't go vote for them to not stand up for my rights. And when I'm really getting tired of being told, since I've never actually done anything for office is, well, what have you done in Austin? You know what I did? I built a business that's a multi-million-dollar business. I employ families and I give them good paying jobs. I have a local official that goes to Austin for me. Why do I need to drive to Austin from Sherman or from the Panhandle or from Fort Worth where I live? Why should I have to stop my business and go up and do their job for them? I elected you, I go to you and I tell you what to do, and you do what you're supposed to by the people. If I have to drive to Austin, then you need to be removed from office. The government has to start learning to fear the people again. We fought a war in 1776 to get rid of kings and queens, and yet we look at Governor Abbott and Biden, we know he lost. Even Trump. Trump pushed the vaccine. Does anybody here like the vaccine? I don't know too many people in my area that do. But yet we just took it because what, he's president? That's not okay. The governor doesn't get to shut down businesses and cost Texans 3 million jobs. He doesn't get the right to shut our churches down on Easter. And if you think he didn't know what he was doing when he picked Easter, you weren't paying attention. That's the thing. These guys are on power trips. They think they control us. Our county judges shouldn't have put Shelley Luther in jail. I didn't shut my business down. And I live out here. How many people in DFW can say they've not only worn a mask twice, but also didn't force their employees to wear a mask? I've worn a mask 2 times this entire time. My employees, we went in homes. We do window treatments. I was in people's homes every single day for the last 2 years of this. I have never worn a mask in a customer's house. That's what you do. You do not comply. If those customers wanted me to wear a mask, I said, too bad, so sad. I don't need your business. I didn't go to businesses that push that agenda, and I wouldn't do it to my employees, and I won't do it for myself. This is control. The reason I ended up running is I watched my individual rights be taken away. I watched the government trying to control us, and then 4 months ago, I went into a children's facility with an 11-year-old with a broken foot, carried him in. The nurse, the staff, up to 3 nurses and 2 staff members never once asked vaccine. All they cared about was whether or not I put that mask on. They watched an 11-year-old boy cry in pain. Violated everything. They violated their oath. They violated EMTALA. They didn't care. All they cared about was whether or not I put that stupid mask on my face. And I have 2 medical conditions, and I said I can't wear them. I've also had COVID. I have antibodies. They didn't care. And everybody goes, well, why didn't you just put the mask on? Why didn't you just comply for that? It's your son. If it was life-threatening, I would have. It wasn't. My son is a very tough child. He knew what was going on. My wife was on her way. But here's the thing. I am now banned from going to any children's facility and taking care of any of my children. So you mess with my individual rights, you mess with my business, and now you mess with my ability to take care of my children, we're done. Plain and simple. So I looked at it and I said, well, I've got 3 good candidates. We got Alan West, we got Chad Prather, we got Don Huffines running. I don't need to go for that. And so the person I figured next most accountable for this was the legislature. And the one at the charge that is pulling a lot of the strings, the one that's not putting those bills and putting Abbott and not forcing Abbott's hand. Because see, Dade Phelan and Dan Patrick could be forcing Abbott's hand, but they're not, are they? The legislature and the judicial branch let Governor Abbott be a tyrant and did nothing to put that branch in check. So I'm going after the person that allowed that to happen. Because see, when I go up there, SB 1 through SB 8, those priorities that the people give, that's the priority. Not, since Alan's here, not if Alan gets in, not his priorities, not my priorities, not Dade Phelan's priorities, it's your priorities. And I will shut it down until those priorities are done. People may not like that. The system's not going to like it because they like their power. They like getting paid off. They like getting money. They don't like the people. Promise you, they don't come to these events. You're not going to see Patrick at any of our Lieutenant Governor forums. You won't see him here next month when we're all here again. You won't see Abbott at any of these events because they don't care about us. They care about the uniparty system. They care about protecting the establishment, and I've had enough of the establishment. It's time we start telling these people what matters. Texans are supposed to fight. Everywhere around talks about Texans, the humble arrogance, that arrogance. Everybody thinks we're cocky. We have too much pride. I guarantee you right now, I'm going around the state and there's more people from outside this state fighting in a lot of these groups than there are people from Texas. because they moved here thinking we were such a free state, and they found out we aren't as free as people thought we were. So exactly at what point do Texans start acting like Texans again? And when does that start meaning something again? And when do we go march on Austin and tell Austin enough is enough? Because that's what we've got to do. Vote these incumbents out of office. Teach them who's back in power. Because if you want to get power back, vote them out. Don't vote for the guys anymore that have the money. Don't vote for the guys that don't represent us. Fight back. Don't sit around and say, oh, Trump lost on January, the election was stolen, oh, I quit. I'm sorry, that's not the Texas mentality. I don't quit on anything. And here's the thing, you can vote it peacefully, you can quit, and next to the next option, we're gonna go to war? Anybody want to see war? It's pretty ugly. I don't think anybody wants. I think Alan's seen that. It's not pretty. The next option, you can be a slave to the government. I'll be damned if I'm ever going to be a slave to this government. And I won't let my children be a slave. So I'm going to try it peacefully as long as I can. So the demoralization that happened with that election, the cheating, who cares? Go fight. Get your friends, get your family to the primary on March 1st. Vote these people out. Do not let them use the system to beat us. We are more powerful than those computer systems. The algorithms can be beat. So stand up for yourselves, fight back, and let's win this. It's enough's enough with the establishment. I've had it. So once again, Aaron Sorrells. I have flyers over here. Unfortunately, my campaign manager had a wreck on the way here, so I'm by myself. So if you want, I have yard signs, I have flyers. Anybody wants anything, please come up and talk to me. My website is S4TX.com. Thank you all very much.